Hey, you made it. By now, you've probably already seen the result of yesterday's boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, which, surprise, surprise, the guy who was 30 years younger was the one that won. I mean, it was no surprise that he won, and as I said in the previous video, I didn't think Mike Tyson would have the stamina for this. I'm not really a boxing expert or anything, but you can kind of just tell that somebody who is that much of an age difference, they are not going to have the stamina to last. It did surprisingly go on for 8 full rounds though, which is kind of a bit of a weird one in my opinion. Like, I feel like if Jake Paul was really such a good boxer, he would have put this to bed much earlier. I think everyone was hoping that Mike Tyson would just come out and just absolutely destroy him, but I feel like that was probably never going to happen. But the point of this follow-up video really is to just highlight how stupid Jake Paul actually is. Like, he's now calling out Canelo Alvarez, who has a pretty damn decent record. He looks like a very solid boxer. He's got 62 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. Like, that is a massive record, and there is absolutely no way in hell Jake Paul is going to win. Like, there is a big weight difference between the two of them, but obviously they'll have to, like, balance out if the fight even ends up going ahead. But, like, what is the incentive for Alvarez to even fight him at this point? If he goes on record and he wins, what has he achieved? He's beaten a nobody. He's beaten somebody that beats up old people. He's beaten somebody whose only like big wins have come against people who have already retired, and the only person he fought there was his own age and actually a professional boxer. He lost to Tommy Fury. Yeah, it was on points, but he still lost. So what is even going on here? And like I say, the only incentive for Alvarez to do this is the massive payout that he will get, because Mike Tyson got $20 million for that fight yesterday. $20 million, bro. Like, what the hell even is this? It just makes such a mockery of all the people like that work really hard and that do this as a sport for their entire life, just to have somebody have a payday for doing absolutely nothing. Like, I know Mike Tyson was already rich from boxing, and then I think he got into some like debt or whatever and then did this fight, but it's just ridiculous to me. So, but he's coming after Alvarez. I don't even know if Alvarez is going to fight him, but if he does fight him, he will just get absolutely dismantled. There is absolutely no way against someone who is a real professional, like a proper professional with this many fights. He is 34, but that doesn't really mean anything as far as I'm aware in terms of boxing. He's only 7 years older than Jake Paul, and surprisingly, he isn't retired, which is unusual that he even wants to face him, and he is a boxer. A lot of the people that Jake Paul seems to have fought are like MMA people, or people who aren't specifically boxers, or boxing isn't their strong point, or boxing is their strong point like Mike Tyson, and they've retired about 20 years ago. So it just seems so stupid to me. And also, like, if you're 103 kilos now, like you are with Jake Paul, why don't you just go fight someone who's actually a heavyweight boxer? Why don't you go fight one of the big guys and just get absolutely slaughtered? Because you would. Like, even fighting Francis Ngannou, who is not a boxer, he's an MMA fighter, but, like, clearly he rocked the boat with Tyson Fury. Imagine the fight between him and Jake Paul. But also, there's no way he would ever call someone out like that, because he knows it's a death sentence. He would just get dismantled. He would be one punch knockout, and that would be it. It would be a fight though, and that would bring in so much money. Like, can you imagine the amount of money they would both get paid for that? I think Jake Paul is too scared to do things like that though. He only seems to pick fights that he knows he has a chance of winning. And I don't know what they do for the weight classes between him and Alvarez, unless they just, like, he slims down again and loses this 20 kilos that he somehow mysteriously gained. Not from steroids, though. It's just from hard training, bro, I swear. But is he going to drop the 20 kilos to drop to the same as Alvarez? Would Alvarez bulk up? Alvarez probably isn't even going to sign the contract or even do the fight, but if he did, I do wonder how this would even pan out. If he stays at the same weight he is now and then fights him, then obviously you've got the weight advantage and you might get a lucky punch or something, but I don't know, it just seems really weird to me. But I couldn't help but think, like, what was even the point in all this stuff, man? Like, what was the point in fighting Mike Tyson other than the money, and other than, like, everybody knowing they're going to tune in for, oh, well, Jake Paul might get beaten. He's not going to get beaten though, is he? I think everybody knew deep down Mike Tyson was never going to win. I mean, he is 30 years older than Jake Paul, and he has not boxed professionally for 20 years. He's hardly going to have the stamina to come up against someone who's 27 years old and trains ridiculously all the time. Like, Jake Paul is not a good boxer by any stretch, and winning on points against someone who's nearly 60 and not going for, like, the knockout or even knockdowns is just crazy to me. It just shows you that he is just absolutely useless. If you look back to Alvarez's record, he has 39 wins by KO. Like, to see Jake Paul get KO'd would just make my day. It would make probably the whole year, but it would make everybody else's day, so it would definitely sell the pay-per-views. But I feel like if he goes up against him, he's getting sparked. He will get knocked out, and then hopefully this absolute shambles will end. But I couldn't help but think as well, the whole thing with Mike Tyson just makes no sense. How is he even still going after this? What is the point in Jake Paul continuing these fights? Who actually cares? From what I read about it and looking at the highlights, the fight just looked ridiculously boring. The fight before that wasn't even the main card looked more interesting than the fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Like, what is even the point in it going for this much money and getting this much attention and them earning so much money from it if the fight's just going to be crap? Like, there's no point. You're just doing it for the sake of the cash grab that it is. It's just shameless, really. And it's sad to see, especially to dig Mike Tyson out of retirement from so long ago. I just don't understand where it all ends. When does this influence of boxing actually stop? Because to me, it just looks like it's going to carry on going until we've got, like, I don't even know. I don't even know who's older and still alive that's famous, but I'm sure Jake Paul would have a fight with them if he could. It's just whatever sells tickets, though, isn't it? But honestly, if he came up against any of the actual heavyweight boxers, imagine if he fought, like, he's not going to fight Tyson Fury, but if he did, he would just get destroyed. Tyson Fury would absolutely crush him. Any of the heavyweights, Anthony Joshua would win. Francis Ngannou, it would just be funny. He would just be running around the ring trying to escape from him. But honestly, like, I just hope something like that happens. I hope they just do a matchup that is just unfit for him on purpose. So A, yeah, people will watch it and pay for it, but B, he actually gets hurt, because he's not getting hurt at all in these fights, really, is he? It looked to me like from the Mike Tyson fight, neither of them came out with any, like, bust up or anything. It didn't even look like that hard of a fight, other than, like, from the stamina perspective. So it's just, what's the point? But, like, boxing in general, usually you want to see people slug it out and actually look like they're going for something, or there's some purpose to it, the actual fight that they're doing. Same with MMA. It seems like you want to watch it because there's actual purpose to what they're doing, not just dance around the ring throwing punches that don't really mean anything and that's it, and then they walk away with a massive paycheck. I thought I'd make a follow-up video for the Was Mike Tyson on steroids for the Jake Paul fight, because you guys seem to have a lot to say about that one, so I thought you'd have a lot to say about this and where Jake Paul goes next. If he doesn't fight Alvarez though, who do you think that he will fight, and who do you want to see him fight? Because I personally would rather just see him either fight someone who's going to completely crush him, like Ngannou for example, or Anthony Joshua, or Tyson Fury, any of the big boys who would absolutely tear him apart and are as near his own age and aren't retired, or this Alvarez fight, which he'll definitely lose. Like, other than that, can you just go away? Like, nobody wants this. Nobody wants to pay $1 million to sit ringside at the fight you just had to just get ultimately disappointed by Mike Tyson landing 18 punches. Like, come on, man. Who is even watching this? Who's paying for this? It's crazy. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, please make sure you subscribe. It'll really help the channel out, help me keep making these videos for you guys. And with that, I want to thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.